presentation of today's on bioenergy Pavilion 2021, and this would be covering success stories in biogas. And it's a great pleasure and privilege to be here this afternoon. And biogas fascinates me. So let me just tell you that in all the years of experience that I have ever had, or varying capacities that I have ever tried in India, biogas is biogas is fascinates with me, and this is the period which I had and loved the most in the biogas field. So it's always great to do or things, or do trying to do something that people used to say that it could not be done. So biogas industry gives an opportunity not only to everyone. What this personally I feel that biogas industry gives opportunity to every individual whoever is in this field. It gives opportunity to test new technologies, and I'm sure that it will also help in transformation of the Indian economy to gas-based economy. So working in biogas, I never felt that it's a job. So I always feel that biogas is a blessing. So I request every speaker to put their mics on mute so it's there is no disturbance. And when we see the figures across the globe, 7.8 billion people who are there across the globe, just say that we are talking only about food and vegetable waste. So imagine how much waste it is all about. And almost 1.3 billion tons of edible food produced across the world is wasted, which is almost 1/3 of the food produced annually worldwide. So it's a huge quantity. We have to look about numbers and see what and how we are going to take care of it. And not only this, but I would also like to introduce our new speaker. The For today's first session, this would be Mr. Kevin Houston. So after having 35 years of experience in Procter & Gamble, IBM, and PwC, he has done his post-graduation in carbon management. And in 2012, he formed Carbon Masters India Private Limited. And in 2014, Carbon Masters developed and launched Carbon Lights, which is known as India's first compressed bio-CNG brand for commercial cooking. So I give you the screen, Kevin. It's all you.
Okay. Thank you, Srinivas. Can you now see my screen?
Yes, clear.
Yeah, well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to, in the few short minutes that lie ahead, tell you the story of our Carbon Lights and our Carbon Lights journey. So, as Srinivas said, we started out in life back in 2009 when we formed the company in Edinburgh in Scotland, after myself and my co-founder, Som, who's from Bangalore, were both together on a carbon management program, a postgraduate program in Edinburgh University. And the company we set up was called Carbon Masters. And our mission was and is to see how we might address the climate crisis by the development of clean energy and low carbon solutions that can displace fossil fuels. And we came to India in 2012 and established Carbon Masters India. And we've developed 2 climate-friendly products which we believe are the need of the hour. So yes, we're in the biogas business, but fundamentally we're in the greenhouse gas emission reduction business. So we believe Carbon Lights can make a serious contribution to solving 3 significant problems that impact not only India, but many countries in the developing world. The first that Srinivas mentioned, some 2.2 billion tons of garbage is sent overwhelmingly either to landfill, or worse than that, it can be dumped in quarries, in waterways, and indeed on the streets of many cities where it can be burnt. The problem with the disposal of municipal solid waste in landfill is that it degrades over time and releases a toxic methane, a toxic greenhouse gas, methane, with a very high global warming potential. Now, there are various reports. I've seen several reports that put the figure in India at something like 62 million tons. But a World Bank report in 2018 said that India is actually generating some 277 million tons of MSW a year, most of which is going to landfill, causing significant health and environmental problems. But the 2 other problems are what I call the climate crisis above the ground. We know we've got to get off of fossil fuels if we're going to address the climate crisis. India is in a vulnerable position with regard to fossil fuels insofar as it's importing 80% of its oil and 50% of its gas. Now that has lots of implications, most of which are not good. First of all, of course, it drives up its greenhouse gas emissions. It reduces its energy security. It's a price taker rather than a price maker. If we're moving to a low carbon world, having too much of your energy in high carbon makes you uncompetitive. And of course, the diesel emissions from transport is producing particulate matter, which is impacting the air quality in too many of India's cities. The good news, as you know, is the government of India has recognized that with the announcement of its major program, which seeks to make bottled bio-CNG or CBG at the forefront of moving India away from diesel into cleaner fuels for transport. But as well as the climate crisis above the ground, we've got an emerging climate crisis beneath our feet. And this is in the agricultural sector, where for too many years, farmers have been using far too much chemical fertilizers and pesticides on the soil, which is degrading those soils, depleting them of nutrients, which is now starting to impact crop yields and farmers' incomes. In fact, the Indian chemical fertilizer market in India is the second largest in the world at $85 billion. And whilst the government is, if you like, imploring farmers to use less chemical fertilizers, the policy framework to make that happen is not yet in place. But it's got to happen if we're going to solve the climate crisis that's beneath our feet, as well as the one that's above ground. So we see carbon lights as being able to address this. So what we essentially do is we pick up separated food waste in the cities in which we operate, which are collected from households, hotels, restaurants, and offices. And in Bangalore, we bring those food waste in our trucks, which also run on our gas, in our smart bins. So they collect separated food waste, for instance, from IT parks. We bring that into our carbon lights biogas facilities, where they undergo anaerobic digestion. And then using the equipment, the technology that some of the speakers that you're going to be hearing about today can deliver to us, we can purify that biogas, remove its impurities. And then what we've done is we have developed unique cylinders and cascades that we bottle the gas so that it's suitable for use by restaurants. And then we take the digestate slurry and we convert that into a carbon-enriched organic fertilizer. So the two products that we sell and we brand as carbon lights. Carbon lights, of course, is 100% gas, unlike LPG, which has liquid at the bottom. But we find that chefs prefer to cook with carbon lights because it gives a cooking performance that's superior to LPG. The calorific value of carbon lights is greater than LPG on a per kg basis. It costs less in use and doesn't reduce in pressure as you use the cylinder, which is what happens with LPG. On the fertilizer side, we spend a lot of time developing a unique process for this, where we take the digestate slurry and we mix that with other biomass in a strict proportion of greens and browns. This then delivers not only the nutrient-rich digestate, but combined with other biomass, we get a carbon-enriched organic manure, which gives excellent results. Now, I think if we've innovated, it's in the two go-to-market models. So we take this to restaurants and hotels, and we offer them a complete system which can reduce their costs substantially, as well as reducing carbon emissions. So as well as the unique 4-cylinder cascades that we can wheel safely outside the kitchen, we've developed pressure reducing systems that can reduce the gas from its 200 bar pressure down to 20 bar and then 4 bar as it goes into the kitchen. And as well as that, we've developed unique burners, which, unlike the blue flame LPG burners, provide more heat directly into the cooking vessel. The result of the consequences of using our gas along with our burners means that we can offer restaurants a 30% cost savings in using our gas versus LPG. Now, in addition to that, we also have our fertilizer. Now, whilst the gas we found relatively easy to sell, the fertilizer is very, very challenging. And that's largely not because we don't have a great product, we do. We've tested it significantly now with large numbers of farmers and we're getting terrific results. The challenge is that farmers generally either using farmyard manure as an organic fertilizer or not using sufficient organic fertilizer anyway, and are using chemical fertilizers. So it's very challenging to, first of all, persuade them that they should start to use organic fertilizer. So we're able to do this by direct contact with farmers, where we tell them the issues around soil health and why they should be using an organic fertilizer. And we're developing a go-to-market model where we sell our product direct to farmers by working with them in the field to show the benefits of our product with versus what they're doing today. Now, to build awareness, we've also developed advertising. I'm just going to show you the very opening of a short advertising film that we're currently doing with Carbon Lights.
ಇವರಿಗೆ ವ್ಯವಸಾಯನೇ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಆಧಾರ. ಇಬ್ರು ನೋಡಕ್ ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಇದ್ರೂ ಇವರ ಕೃಷಿ ವಿಧಾನ ಮಾತ್ರ ವಿಭಿನ್ನ. ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಇಳುವರಿ ಪಡೆಯೋದೇ ನನ್ನ ಗುರಿ. ಅದು ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ ಗೊಬ್ಬರದಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ಫಲವತ್ತತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೊದಲ ಆದ್ಯತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಸಾವಯವ ಗೊಬ್ಬರವನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಲೈಟ್ಸ್ ಮಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಸಾವಯವ ಇಂಗಾಲವನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತೆ. ಬೆಳೆಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೋಷಕಾಂಶಗಳನ್ನ ನೀಡಿ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ ಗೊಬ್ಬರದ ಪ್ರಮಾಣವನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಖರ್ಚು.
So as well as improving their soil health and improving their crop yields, carbon lights can also play an increasingly important role in helping farmers address the climate crisis. And that's by an emerging concept, by moving from their industrial form of agriculture, which is frankly not sustainable, to one where they're practicing regenerative farming. And this is a caption of a social media campaign to educate farmers about regenerative farming and the role that it can play and carbon lights can play. So this unique model enables us to put more of our product in the farmers' hands to show them the results that we get. And we're seeking to address one of the other challenges, which is this last mile delivery to farmers, by developing a model whereby we store our product in shipping containers spread across the state and handle the last mile logistics by recruiting local agri-entrepreneurs. Our journey started, we started at a pilot plant in Dadapalpur, just outside Karnataka, and we're now operating 4 biogas plants across 2 states. We have a unique execution in the heart of Bangalore, as you can see on the left there, where we've designed our anaerobic digesters within shipping containers. So the space footprint is a lot more useful than necessarily large-scale cylindrical anaerobic digesters. But so from 4 plants, we're hoping to expand that now from 4 facilities in 2 states to 8 biogas plants across 4 states within the next 12 to 18 months. And our target is to see if we can build 50 biogas plants across the next 5 years. We're doing that and helped by that by corporate partnerships that we formed with corporates like Mahindra and Mahindra, where we're managing their plant in Tirupati. And a recent MOU we've signed with Tata Projects, where we're going to look at the co-digestion of food waste and sewage sludge to create carbon lights gas and fertilizer. And we've recently announced a joint venture with one of our waste management partners, Hasudra. That joint venture will be able to offer municipal authorities a complete solution for both their dry waste and their wet waste. Our business model is essentially to drive 5 sources of revenue. Clearly, the sales of carbon lights, gas and fertilizer are the key components, but we also operate plants and we process organic waste for food companies or IT parks where we charge a processing fee. We are also designing and building our own plants. And the 5th area that we're looking at now is how we monetize the carbon emission reductions which come from our plants that can generate carbon credits and therefore be sold to increasing number of buyers who are looking to reduce their carbon as part of their climate change commitments. So if you look at a 50-ton plant, a 50-ton organic waste plant can have significant impacts. The waste being diverted from landfill saves carbon. It produces a fuel that can displace other fossil fuels, also saving carbon. By putting carbon back into the soil, you are sequestering carbon as well as reducing chemical fertilizer usage, which is also very carbon intensive. So as well as creating employment, we also can achieve many of the SDG goals. And the important thing is a 50-ton plant will save around 11,000 tons of carb CO2 a year, all of which both now and in the future can be monetized. So that's the journey we've been on to date. We think the opportunities in India, particularly now with the SATAT initiative, are significant. The technologies that you're going to hear about today are getting better and better. And we think this is a significant opportunity for India to regain the leadership that it deserves in the biogas space. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. It was enlightening, and I would like to once again request for all those who have just joined in. We had completed the welcome session and introduction speech by Kevin Houston, the director of Carbon Lights, Carbon Masters. And now we'll be going towards our next session. And it would be like, as I said that, it was already said in the beginning that every expert is a beginner. So our next session would be started by, or would be given by Mr. B.R. Singh, CEO, Atmos Power Private Limited. Having 28 years of experience in the design and engineering and manufacturing field, Mr. Singh has developed many gas-based generation systems throughout Asia and Africa. Though he's a part of Gujarat Chamber of Commerce, he takes time for his business and ensures that everything is up and running. And there was a query or question raised by one of the German that are there at least 10 biogas, bio-CNG units in India? So my answer to him was, there are more than 80 plus plants installed by Atmos Power itself. So you can see and understand what is the difference this field is now getting into. So I hand over, and with that, I ask that you give your full attention to Mr. B.R. Singh and help in welcoming him to the screen. Mr. B.R. Singh.
Yeah. How can he share his screen? How can he share our this PPT presentation and all? Can you guys see the presentation?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, good. Yeah, now it's okay. Good afternoon, partners and friends of the biogas industry. Thank you for giving me this platform to share my thoughts. It is very exciting to be a part of this promising field. I would like to take a few minutes to share the journey of my company, Atmos Power. Atmos Power was established in 2010 in the city Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. Even though established in 2010, the research for the perfect upgradation technology had started since 2007. After 14 years and more than 85 biogas upgradation systems installed throughout the Asia, we are happy to say that we found the perfect technology, a patented and proven technology with low capex and low OPEX, capable of offering 98% methane purity and methane recovery rate of greater than 99%. Our MPSA system, we can say, most economical biogas upgradation system in the world. Our other few solutions apart from biogas, syngas producer gas upgradation unit, PSA based nitrogen gas generation plant, oxygen gas generation plant, hydrogen gas generation plants, and natural gas upgradation systems. Now come to our MPSA biogas upgradation. This is 3D pictures, some footprint you can see in this screen. Some installation, this is our Amul Dairy unit where we installed biogas upgradation, including raw biogas storage balloon and purified biogas double membrane balloon, high pressure compressor, casketic filling unit, and second option, directly connect to the boiler. They are using this, most of time they are using this gas in the boiler in place of natural gas. This is this picture, you can see the whole biogas purification and bottling plant installed in Amul Dairy in 2014. And we are operating since beginning, since 2014 to till now, we are doing operation maintenance 24 hours. You can amaze, this is our success story. See, the client, if client is satisfied, then only he review their O&M year to year. Earlier, before this unit, there were some smell problems surrounding the city. We suggest we can install this upgradation unit, H2S removal, including H2S removal system, and they agree finally in 2014. And general manager of this Amul Dairy, after visiting our one installed unit in Jaipur, immediately decided and take this approval from the management, around 2.5 CR. That was the whole cost for biogas holding, collection, holding, purification, and bottling. And they get revenue within 1 year payback period. So this is one of our successful plant, you can say, success story. Second, this is similar in Banas Dairy, 300 meter cube per hour since 2016, and is running. They are using this purified gas in their boiler. Another, this is in Indore Smart City. This picture shows in Mahindra, basically Mahindra and Mahindra done this EPC. We installed biogas holding, double membrane balloon, purification and bottling unit, and we are operating. Apart from this Mahindra in Indore, there is another unit, the digester, the EPCG done by Melam Engine, our partner Melam. They have done this digester and all, and purification bottling we have done, and we are operating this. They are using in the both unit, they are using city bus and auto rickshaw. Mahindra and Mahindra, we associate since 2014, and we installed 8 units. Our last 8 unit is under commissioning in Udaipur. Apart from Udaipur, Indore, Pidigulla, Tirupati, one in Bangalore. There are so many other sites. Now, this biogas being sold to IOCL in Gujarat, Bharat Biogas Energy Limited in Anand, Green Earth Biogas in Surendranagar in Gujarat, and there is one unit in Surat recently started, Glow Green. So they all three units are supplying their bio CNG to IOCL pump. Now, very interesting story. This Asia Biogas in Thailand. Asia Biogas, owned by European owners with a vast experience in biogas, they had tried all technology for biogas upgradation. Finally, they found us and visited our factory, and few site visit, they finalized this unit 300 meter cube per hour gas upgradation unit, and we have supplied in 2018 in Thailand, Rian city, and they are operating bio CNG, first bio CNG pump in Rian city in Thailand. This is very, you can say, exciting to me, especially on these days in 2016 or 17, we were wondering we can start some other technology, some other hybrid technology. But after discussion with this Asia Biogas, we realize in the biogas sector, especially in Asian country, they are very cost sensitive, cost effective. So we have to go in any way, any technology must be cost effective. Then only we can survive in the biogas sector. The biogas sector is very, you can say unmature or some low margin. There are so many other challenges apart from this raw material collection, raw material handling, gas selling, fertilizer, blah, blah, blah. Everybody aware about this. Now, India needs more 5,000 compressed biogas plants. So long way, the technology is proven, only replication is remaining. So the last, anyway, after installing many such plants, we are excited to use our experience in helping India reach its goal of 5,000 bio-CNG plants, and we are ready to provide our assistance for the same. Thanks. Thanks, Mr. Srinivas.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Singh Sab. And it was outstanding. And to see the numbers, really, it is something out of the box. And once again, I would request all the speakers to stick to the 15-minute slot so that we can have a good question and answer sessions. And I can see the positive vibrations and the positive change, as well as the question and answers which are popping up. And I would request every audience to you will get the free question and answer session. So keep posting your question and answers in the chat box so that we'll take one by one along with your name and company name if possible. So coming to our next session, I would like to say that there is no such thing as away. When we throw anything away, it must go somewhere. This is what quoted by Annie Leonard. And this is the perfect example when I would like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Gajanan Patil, Managing Director of BioUrja Systems. And he is one of the dynamic person who is down to earth, and I have personally known to him from almost more than 15 years. So having 15 years of experience only in cow dung, gaushalas, gobar or food waste, when we call it as a gaushala or gobar waste, he dominates the industry and he ensures that no other company enters into the bio gaushalas. So over to you, Mr. Gajanan.
Thank you, Srinivas. Good afternoon, friends. thank you very much to IBA for giving me an opportunity today to talk on the two success stories. One is from dairy and one is from poultry industries. Next slide. Srinivas, can you see the screen? Hello?
Yes, it is visible. Paddy.
Okay, yeah. As you said that, yeah, a company is started in 2006 and we have done more than 200 biogas and biogas to power generation projects. Out of 200, I can proudly say that more than 150 are the sites where we are generating electricity at various dairy farms and poultry farms. We did more 15 projects for community-based biogas for villages under Govardhan, 6 projects for CBG. I have worked with BR Singhji at a couple of projects, and also more than 10,000 family size plant installations in Maharashtra for the individual farmers. Today, I'm been asked to talk on 2 success stories. One is on dairy and one is on poultry. As we know that Indian agriculture is supported by dairy farming. And if you see the census of 2019, India has got around 192 million cows and 109.85 million buffaloes. But nowadays, considering the cost of milk production and current rate of milk, the dairy farming under this sector is really struggling. And we know that the rate of the milk currently is around 22 rupees, which was around 30 rupees a year back. So now only on the sale of the milk, now keeping these cows and the dairy is really becoming very difficult. So we are planning and we have tried to generate some additional revenue from this saving of power, which we can generate at source as a captive power plant. And we have also worked further on the sale of liquid and solid manure to support this industry. Today, I'm going to show you one success story. As we know that, this HF cows, they generate around 20 kg dung per day, and 25 kg dung generates 1 cubic meter biogas. 1 cubic meter biogas produces around 1.25 kilowatt electricity, 1.25 kWh power, and 5 kg value-added fertilizer. If you see, in a year, on an average, one cow gives around 350 to 400 units of power and 1.5 metric ton phosphate-rich organic manure. This is a typical one success story which I would like to share on this platform today. There is one dairy farm called Sarda Farms at Chhattisgarh. They have got around 1,500 cattle. Every day they are generating around 30 metric ton dung, and there we have constructed this 1200 cubic meter biogas plant. Along with Kirloskar oil engines, we have developed 100% biogas operated gensets, 10 kilowatt to 100 kilowatt range. So here we have installed 2 numbers 100 kilowatt generators. Here every day on an average we are generating around 150 kilowatt power and 9 metric ton phosphate-rich organic manure here we are processing. The cost of the project was around 2 crore 25 lakh. CREDA has given around 36 lakh rupees subsidy and MNRE has also given 37 lakh. Now, from the saving of the power, they are saving around 36 lakh rupees per year only on the saving of power. Liquid fertilizer, they are around 50,000 liter liquid manure they are using in their in-house vegetable farming. They have got around 600 organic vegetable farms where they are using this liquid fertilizer. Here we have supplied them a microfiltration unit which we have imported from Italy. After separating the solids from the liquid, the liquid manure, which has got around 2% solids, we are again further passing it through the microfiltration project. And through that, we are giving them a drippable liquid manure, which they are passing to the drip irrigation to 600-acre their vegetable farmings. So altogether, if we consider all the revenue streams like saving on the power, saving on the liquid fertilizer, and additional revenue from the PROM, altogether this plant is getting revenue around 170 lakh rupees per annum. So if we consider the investment and the revenue, we can say that the return on investment for this particular project is less than 2 years. So by showing the success story like this, we have done more than 60 installations for the commercial dairy farms in the range of 100 cattle to 2000 cattle. Now our biggest dairy farm project at Mansar, where the Bhagyalakshmi farm is having 2500 cattle, is now under construction. This is a typical overview of the project. This is like cattle shed, digester. This is the solid liquid separator. This is S2S scrubbing, storage, and these are the Kirloskar oil engines manufactured 100 kilowatt biogas gensets. They are operating 100% on biogas. The beauty of Kirloskar oil engines over here is the local dealer of that particular city is giving them the service. So no need to send the person from Pune and Mumbai like that, like the other manufacturers. Now, as we said, when we separate the solids from this solid liquid separator, these separated solids in the powder form, we are mixing along with the rock phosphate and the microbial culture. Here we have got a tie-up with BioEnergy. BioEnergy is supplying a mother culture to convert the insoluble rock phosphate into soluble rock phosphate by converting that into PROM. So this entire unit we have set up at Sada farm, where this capacity of this PROM plant is 10 metric ton per year. So these solids are getting converted, mixed with the rock phosphate and the culture, and getting granulized in the granular form. We are bagging them into 40 kg bag, and this 40 kg bag is getting sold at 18 rupees per kg in the local market. Now this is liquid. At other farms, whatever digested after this separation, we are selling in the tanker. So this 4,000 liter tanker, we are getting paid minimum 1,500 rupees to 2,000 rupees in 5 kilometer radius. So we have provided this tanker. So the individual farmers in that area, they're getting their tractor and they're taking this tanker along with the slurry. And you can see that there are pipes and engine we have already attached to this tanker for the direct application of this liquid fertilizer to their horticulture, like grapes, pomegranate, mango. So it is very easy for them to manure them by applying this directly. This is the microfiltration unit, which just I have mentioned. This microfiltration unit is filtering slurry at less than 50 micron, and then we are packing that microfilter slurry with some value addition in 5 liter and 50 liter cans, and then the farmers are mixing these 50 liter cans into their 200 liter venturi, and then it is getting passed to the drip irrigation to their crops. At few places, to save the cost of these cans, we are asking farmers to take the empty can back, and we are again giving it refilled at 5 rupees 50 paisa per liter. So we are giving a value added liquid fertilizer at only 5 rupees 50 paisa per liter. Now, sir, my second success story is on poultry. Poultry industry is one of the fastest growing industry in India, and the value of poultry industry is around 80,000 crore. We are third largest egg producer in the world, fourth largest chicken meat producer in the world. Total chicken population in India today is around 729.20 million. But the poultry, is bringing some challenges along with it, like the huge quantity of waste, 9,486 million metric ton waste generated in India, 1.15 million metric ton slaughterhouse waste we are generating per year. So naturally, the litter and all the allied waste from poultry industry is leading offensive order problem to the nearby villages, health issues, pathogens, flies. That's why there is, a problem. Poultry industry is not having the social acceptance in these days. But by addressing their waste management issues, we are, helping these industries to get them a social acceptance, and we are targeting to solve the problems of the flies and odor by converting that waste into resources. This case study, this plant we have done one poultry industry at Nasik district called Anand Farm. They have got 200, so they have got 2 lakh birds at one place. From the 2 lakh birds, they are generating around 20 metric ton fresh litter every day. They have got the conveyor belt system. That's why we are getting poultry manure collected every day. From the 20 metric ton, we are generating around 2000 cubic meter biogas and around 2500 kWh power every day. Last 1 year, recently the client has shared their power generation data with me. In last 12 months, they have generated 4,88,000 electrical units in a year. Here, they are also generating liquid fertilizer. Nasik being a grape belt, all their liquid fertilizer is getting sold at 25 to 50 paisa per liter. This is typical overview. This is they are the air conditions bird sets. All their litter is getting collected into this tank. We got a pre-treatment over here where we are removing the feathers and the silica in the pre-treatment tanks, and then the pure slurry is getting fed to the digester. These are the slurry separator, and there we have installed 2 gensets of 100 kilowatt each. Here the project cost of this plant was around 300 lakh. MEDA has given them 80 lakh subsidy. MNRE has also given them 50 lakh subsidy. Maharashtra government was having a policy before that. They were also supporting to this type of projects. So they got double benefits. Now, if you see the saving on the power, 2,500 units into 7 rupees, because initially poultry farms were getting subsidized power rate from the government, but recently all the state governments have removed that policy, and now average rate of the power to all the poultry is around 7 rupees to 7 rupees 40 paisa per unit. So here the customer is saving around 61 lakh rupees per annum, plus the additional revenue from the sale of dry manure and liquid manure. So altogether, the revenue from this 2 lakh bird poultry farm is around 108 lakh rupees. So by considering that without subsidy, even the return on investment is less than 3 years. After seeing the success story of this farm, we have got 13 new projects. We have got repeated orders, and in last 2 years, we have commissioned 12 projects on biogas to power for the poultry, and 1 project of 50 metric ton for the compressed biogas plant at Hyderabad for a company called Solika Green. And now another 10 projects of similar backgrounds are now under construction. So this was our journey for the and the success stories which we delivered for the poultry and dairy farms. Srinivas, really thank you very much for giving me time. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Patil. It was I appreciate your efforts and time you spent in the gaushalas and dairy industry. But one thing you missed in your introduction is you have already received 8 awards from 2014 and onwards. And great presentations are coming up, guys. And when we are talking about the plans 50 followed by 80, again we have climbed up to 200. Let's see what our next presenter, Mr. K.R. Raghunath, has to deliver. And Mr. K.R. Raghunath is CEO and founder of KIS Group, which stands for Knowledge Integration Solutions. And he has years of international experience and has developed many technologies based on solid as well as liquid biogas. And he has been instrumental and spearheading when we are talking about Southeast Asian biogas industry. So over to you, Mr. Raghunath.
Put a front face, front camera. Okay. Can you see me, Mr.
Yes, I would request you to just
face. Open start here. Yeah, I think it's
So already the question and answers are coming in from the audience. We'll be having another 20 minutes at the end of the session to discuss the questions. I will start, bifurcating the questions based on our speakers, and we'll share the questions accordingly.
Yeah, can you see the screen now?
Your PPT is not.
PPT is not coming, right? Okay, 1 minute. I think let me go back to the.
Yes, now can see your screen.
Now can see, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good morning, everybody. You can see the video also, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me first of all thank IBA for giving this opportunity. Let me start the presentation of sharing of success of KS Group in almost 9 countries. About us, we have won several awards across the globe in last 50 days of our journey. Recently won India's.
Mr. Raghunath, we are not able to see your screen, so can you please?
Can you just advise him to give the disconnection to this? Can you just allow me to share the screen, Srinivas?
Yes, yes. You are already allowed.
Let me just. Disconnect करो, please.
Yes, now it is clear.
Now you can see?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Srinivas, can you see now?
Yes, it is clear now.
Speaker here. Okay, you can see, right?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear also.
Yes, yes.
Hello. Are we audible? Hello, Srinivas, are you audible or?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you. So you can see the screen also, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Let me continue with the next slide. Yeah, this is the outline of the presentation today. I don't spend much time here. I'll just go next to the direct to the presentation. And the brief details about KS Group. We are globally present in almost 9 countries. Recently, we added USA and Qatar into this. And we offices in Singapore, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Colombia, Qatar, and USA. And one important aspect of us is that almost 70% of revenue in last 15 years is from the repeat orders. And we are in 2 different verticals. One is water and wastewater, and also in biogas from organic waste. We handle and we have done all types of organic waste, which is probably available on the earth. And we are also introducing biohydrogen now. And this is overall scheme of raw waste, how it can get into value addition up to bio-CNG at different levels, biogas using boiler, power plants of biogas power plant is quite widely used, and also now bodies in India and world, bio-CNG is quite happening. Coming back to the first project, what we have done in India, and we're glad to share that we have been awarded India's best bio-CNG plant for this project. This is done in Amul brand milk, which is done by Manas Dairy. I'll be sharing the video of that in the next slide. Go back. And I'm glad to share that as we have won India's best bio-CNG plant, we also won Indonesia's best biogas power plant award, and it was presented by Indonesia's energy minister in 2018, 2 years back. And we also won the best renewable energy company award by Dun & Bradstreet. Total in last 15 years, we have received more than 23 awards in 9 countries. I'm very happy and glad to share the new beginning which we started in Malaysia. We have won the global tender in Malaysia for piped bio-CNG supply to villages in Sarawak state of Malaysia. The contract was signed in the presence of Sarawak Chief Minister. And this project is probably first in the world to supply purified bio-CNG to houses. Like in towns, we get natural gas piped to our homes. So these 2 villages, simply the first villages in the world wherein they'll be getting biomethane piped to their houses in around 330 villages in Malaysia. I believe India and Asia should be doing this kind of projects in every villages. And I hope this will kickstart the new revolution of supplying, all the villages with piped biogas, bio-CNG rather. And carbon credits is one of the most probably neglected aspect in waste to energy business. So even though prices have come down, but it still gives a revenue, and we have more than 10 projects earning carbon credits. So Indian biogas developers should not miss this opportunity to capture some carbon credits for the projects. And we have several biogas success stories to share with you across the world. And this is one of our first project in Indonesia way back in 2011. It was completed in 2012, so it's operating for last, you can say, almost 9 years successfully. And the owners have given us repeat orders once again. And this is first of its kind project wherein we did a joint venture with a Malaysian Belgian company for setting up a biogas power plant and export of power to the grid. This was done way back in 2013. So since last 7 years, this is exporting power to the grid successfully. And these are all earning carbon credits. And some more success stories of biogas power plant in Indonesia for the biggest group in Indonesia called Sinarmas. And we can see some more projects in remote country like Papua New Guinea is there, in Ivory Coast also we have done, in Malaysia. And Kargil we have done in and as I said, Dekel Oil in Ivory Coast in Africa we have done, Dekel remote country in Africa. And this is one of our largest biogas plant built by us. Each digest is 12,000 meter capacity, and the biogas volume is quite huge. And the power plant is 5 megawatt capacity biogas power plant. And as you can see, we have done a lot of joint venture projects to develop bio-CNG and biogas power plant in Malaysia and Indonesia. And this recently commissioned 2.4 megawatt biogas power plant in Indonesia. As you can see, there is huge potential in these countries to make biogas and bio-CNG. This was commissioned just a couple of months back in October 2020, even during the COVID time, where the biogas is burned in the boiler and to save the produced steam and power. And this is our latest project in India, wherein in Torrent Pharma in Gujarat. Torrent Pharma is one of the largest, pharma company, and they have lots of employees, and they generate a lot of food waste. So the food and STP sludge is used to generate biogas, and the biogas is used in the canteen to replace the natural gas, and they're quite happy with the project, and they want to do it in all their other facilities also. And bio-CNG stories, as I mentioned earlier in the video, bio-CNG project, what we have done has become a role model for Indian bio-CNG projects. I understand the PMO has initiated and also asked all the state governments to visit our plant in Banas. We are also in touch with the PMO officials in Swachh Bharat, and they're quite happy, and they've asked all the state secretaries to have a look at the plant, what is done in Banas, and we're happy and proud to be part of this trend-setting project. where you can see the bio-CNG dispensed to the same location is produced. And another trend-setting project what we are doing is for Unilever in Indonesia, wherein Unilever is globally declared to achieve zero carbon footprint for the manufacturing facility. So we will be doing them a lot of supply of bio-CNG to achieve their zero carbon footprint when they replace their natural gas consumption to make it almost zero in next 10 years. And the application of bio-CNG, I think all my fellow speakers have spoken about it. So one of the most important application is dual fuel, wherein your vehicles can run on diesel as well as bio-CNG. Because in some plantation, like sugar plantation in India, they're in remote places. You may not have a petrol pumps to, or bio-CNG station to refill them at the places. So if they can run on both the bio-CNG as well as diesel, so whenever bio-CNG not there, they can run their vehicles on diesel also. So dual fuel vehicles is one of the important things we should do here. Biohydrogen is probably the next big thing to happen. People are talking about hydrogen economy, hydro economy, but again, this hydrogen is coming from fossil fuel like natural gas. So in future, all the hydrogen should be coming from biogas or biosource. So we also developing a couple of hydrogen projects in Southeast Asia, and I believe the trend will pick up in India also very soon. As I said earlier, repeat orders are the best testimonials of any company to survive for the long term. And as I said, 70% of revenue is from repeat orders. You can see almost all of clients are giving repeat orders one after one. And this is another wonderful example of consistency of performance. As you can see, the plant was commissioned in 2015 for the biogas power plant. And they had excess biogas. So they gave us order number 3 in December, last year, 2 years back, to install one biogas burner and see how it performs. And they were so happy with it. And they gave another order also to install additional biogas. The reason biogas plants have not performed well is the consistency in operation. The biogas plant will do well in the first year and the second year. But when it comes to year 4, year 5, they rather tend to collapse or tend to deteriorate performance. So it's important to have consistency performance for the entire life cycle. That is what is our strength, to deliver gas consistently even after 5-10 years of performance. And another Belgian client, CPF is one of the big company in Belgium. And as you can see, every project they inaugurate and they celebrate. And we have done 4 projects with them. You can see the nameplates. Every project they have a nameplates, and they make it as a big celebration to have these success stories to this list of projects. And one more client, repeat orders story. I keep on adding this, but I skip repeat order success here only. I'll go to the next Unilever. Unilever also we have done in every country for Unilever, India, Nigeria, Dubai, and also Indonesia. As you know, Unilever is a huge and global company, and they would have very high standards of work quality and work ethics, safety, and everything. Very proud and happy to work with such global players repeatedly. And some under construction projects, huge projects we are building in India and outside all over the world. In Nepal, this project is a Nepal's Prime Minister constituency, very high profile project. And we are glad that we are doing this project in Nepal under construction now. It should be commissioned in next 5 months' time. This is also one of the biggest project we are doing in Malaysia, which is going to generate 28,000 metric of biogas per day. As you can see, there are around 2 reactors of huge capacity of 6,750 metric capacity. Even under COVID time, the construction is going on, and we'll be commissioning it in next 5 months' time. Another project like somebody did the project and didn't perform well. So this big group in Malaysia is hiring us to rectify the services. And this is a project I mentioned, which is going to trend set in India and all over the world. As you can see, the biogas is captured and we purify the gas, and we will transport bio-CNG to the center of the villages. And we have a satellite station here, and from the satellite station, the piping is done to cluster of homes. One satellite station will supply probably 100 homes. So this is a new trend, a new concept of supplying bio-CNG to remote villages from the biogas we produce in those remote places. I believe this is going to be new happening in India and rest of the world. And LG is another big global client. We are happy that we are doing 2 biogas power plant with the LG of Korea for their wet waste in Indonesian projects. We are doing 2 projects for LG in Indonesia for the wet waste to biogas power plant. And as you can see, these are all carbon credit projects. There's huge demand for carbon credit in South Korean market. So it's a carbon credit plus green power. It's the multiple benefits. Coming back to the huge projects, what we are doing in India, as you can see the 3D picture, it's a 300 tons per day municipal waste project in Gujarat, Bharuch and Bhavnagar. These projects will generate around 27,000 metric tons of gas per day. And these projects, I will set trend again in municipal waste handling in India. As I mentioned earlier, Renewable project, we'll be producing bio-CNG at remote location. We'll be transporting them in huge cascades and we'll be supplying to Renewable Indonesia. And all the global players in the world, they need to change to biofuels to replace the fossil fuel. This is trend, we're setting it. And this is another development is happening in the world, VOCAB, VOTEC-based cavitation for boosting biogas, and raw biogas liquid. I think liquid and jet fuels is also quite advanced discussion with the Americans and Europeans we have. So if this happens commercially successful, so probably you'll see a lot of raw biogas converted to liquid directly without going to purification and things like that. And the third point is we have signed a lot of MOUs with investors in Singapore and Europe, close to 2 billion USD. So we shall be happy to assist all developers to fund their projects in biogas and bio-CNG in India and Asia. So any developers who are in the audience looking for capital, we shall be happy to help them with the technology as well as funds. We have MOU signed up to close to $2 billion because our technology has been validated by big KPMG and Deloitte. So the investors are seeing our projects performing for the last 10 years and more than that in so many 20-odd locations in different climatic conditions. So investors are very happy to invest in our projects and take the projects forward. I would not take much time. I think this is a new technology what we're introducing. This is animation. Anybody interested in the audience, we shall be happy to share and show it separately. I don't take more time to run through the video here. And just a small comparison of advantage of this. There could be difference of opinion on what is good, what is bad, but there cannot be second thoughts that having no agitation inside the tank is always a good sign or a good development. So this particular technology, what we have developed, does not have anything inside the tank. So there is no maintenance or downtime happening because of the mechanical agitations, what is inside the tank. We provide all these 4 types. It is not that we are promoting only one. We provide all these type of technologies, but yes, if somebody looking for a better and high-end technology, we also have that system here. And my last slide, which clearly shows that right expertise and proven track record is very important to convert your waste into better money. Waste to energy, waste to money, of wealth to waste is all old slogans, but I think going by the failed projects, what you have seen in India and Southeast Asia, there are so many failed projects in biogas. We have around 5 biogas plants in India for takeover, which are not operating well. And also in Singapore, we have 1 plant which is for takeover, which is not operating well. In Malaysia also same. So do it right first time and do it right and do it perfectly in the first time. And biogas industry is here for giving better returns, better environment and better value for entire future generation. And I once again thank IBA for giving the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Raghunathji. And it was outstanding and enlightening as well. As I said, the numbers are keeping on increasing from our first PPT. And we don't have to engage in any grand heroic actions to participate in any change. Small acts when multiplied by millions of people can transform the world. when I started 20 years, almost 21 years back, and if you ask me 5, 10 or 20 years ago, I would have never imagined that India will see such a huge change in the biogas industry. And I think Samir will also agree to me, because having 23 plus years of experience in the biogas industry, I would like to introduce Mr. Samir Rege, who is CEO of Melem ICOS Environment Private Limited, with having so many years of experience and looking at the various aspects of the company, with years of experience in executing more than 300 projects spread across the country. So you see the numbers are kept on, it's increasing, right? We started from 50 and now it has reached to 300. And Samir is a source of inspiration in Melham as well. So let's hear to you, Samir.
Thank you, Srinivas. Am I audible and is the screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so big thank you to Srinivas. Yes, we go a long way back. And a big thank you to Indian Biogas Association for this opportunity. And a very warm welcome to all the viewers. So I'll quickly run through some of the success stories that we had. In fact, Srinivas put us into a big problem, asking for success stories. So I thought we put up something pretty unique today. So quick run on what is Melham. Melham is a Sanskrit word. Mail in Sanskrit is waste, maila, and hema in Sanskrit is gold. So we have the Midas touch of converting waste to gold. And we have a lot of projects put up on decentralized biogas projects, which are on kitchen, canteen, slaughter, dairy, distillery, sugar, starch, vegetable waste, fruit waste, you name it. Whatever stinks, we are very happy. And we have also got some wastewater treatment projects, especially focusing on leachate treatment. And now we are also doing a lot of large-scale centralized waste projects, which are mostly in the municipal solid waste field, where we have these large biogas plants, bio-CNG projects. Then we do mechanical or windrow composting. We are doing biomining of old legacy waste, capping of existing dump sites. We are putting up scientific landfills. We are doing refuse-derived fuel, that is the combustible fraction of municipal garbage. We have plastic to fuel projects also. We have dead animal incineration. And we are also very soon would be putting up hazardous waste landfills also. So as you can see, over the last 25 years journey, we have managed to have a good balance between decentralized and centralized projects. But we love garbage. Some key recognitions: we must have done something right to have got this award by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, the Garbage Guru Award in 2015. We got an award by Quality Council of India. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about waste management. I haven't diverted the topic, and there is a quality aspect also which keeps coming into the waste management. So this is a Quality Council of India award that we got. We have got some lifetime achievement awards. The list is pretty big, so just cutting it short. But this one is more relevant for IBA. We got the winner in the operational excellence category by IBA. Let's see what we did. So we have a presence in more than 350 projects all over, in fact 350 cities and tier 2, tier 3 cities in India. We also have some projects abroad, but we are more India centric now. So we have projects on biogas, we have projects on bio-CNG, and we also have municipal solid waste projects where we are handling city garbage. So let's look at some success stories. I've picked two specially for you all. This one is a 15 ton per day project, small cute little one for Indore Smart City. Actually, Speaker B.R. Singh ji before me also did mention about this Indore project. So this project is in Indore. It is taking 15 tons of segregated municipal organic waste. And as we all know, Indore has some fantastic segregation facilities. So it is very easy to get 15 tons of waste here. And we are generating around 1.5 tons per day of organic manure and 500 kgs per day of compressed biogas. So I told you it's a very cute, compact project. We do all the sorting and shredding of the organic waste, which is typically vegetable market yard waste, fruit mandi waste, and we also get household organic waste. We store this, we digest it. We have the biomethanation process where we store this in balloons. This is something new that we did. These are balloons which are of Kevlar material, the bulletproof material. So something new that we tried out. And here we have the Atmos system installed for biogas purification and the compression. And we have our own dispensing station at the plant itself. So you can see we have the weigh bridge, the feed handling area. We have conveyors for sorting and crushing. The anaerobic digesters, here is a unique combination between a continuous stirred tank reactor and modified upflow anaerobic sludge blanket, MUASB. This is the biogas purification and upgradation system, the dispensing station, and you can see that we are filling buses by this Indore. It's called iBus. Indore, the smart city has these Indore buses, which we are filling almost about 7 to 10 buses on a daily basis. Everything is automated. The other project which I thought is relevant to the times today, because I was aware that my colleague Gajanan would be showing something on dairy and poultry. So I thought I would like to share something on slaughterhouse waste. Yes, this is a growing problem, growing issue for even the smaller cities and towns. So this is a project on 5 tons per day of vegetable waste and 5 tons per day of slaughterhouse waste, kattal khana waste, which is located at Ahmednagar in Maharashtra. So this project is set up right in the waste depot at Gurudgaon. It is for Ahmednagar Municipal Corporation, and it's a combination of 5 tons per day of vegetable waste, vegetable market waste, and 5 tons per day of slaughterhouse waste. So when I talk of slaughterhouse waste, I'm referring to the paunch contents, the intestines, the offal contents, rumen contents, and also sometimes small dead animals which come in whole. The total capacity is 10 tons per day. We are generating around 180 tons per day of organic manure here. And we are also generating around 850 electrical units on a daily basis. This plant is self-sufficient as far as the electricity is concerned. And we are also supplying electricity to the for the perimeter lighting and the nearby plants. There's an animal incineration plant nearby, so we are supplying electricity there. So this is how it is. You have the veg waste coming in separately. We have 2 separate unloading areas. So the non-veg waste comes in closed bins. We unload it. We have a special spraying system because with non-veg, we have to do pathogen control. So we crush it, push it into a heating system where pathogen control happens. We have the digesters. These are metal digesters interlinked. We store the gas, and we are using the gas for a heating system, for water heating system, and we are also using the gas for electricity generation. There is an option here for converting to compressed biogas, but since we are more involved in auto fuel, we are just waiting for the permissions from BPCL very soon, which hopefully we should get some permissions for the CBG unit here. So this is how the spraying system happens. We do manual spraying everywhere, and we have an auto spray system inside and outside of the plant. This is for odor control, fly nuisance control, and also is biodegradable in nature, so it does not affect the operators working. There are no skin infections or anything of the sort. This project has been certified by the Central Pollution Control people, and they have taken it up to make it a model project for slaughterhouse treatment all over. So there's a file which has already been put up to the UD in Maharashtra. Some other projects in hand which we have. This is something which we are very proud of. This is in a place called Rudrapur in Uttarakhand. This is a 50 ton per day compressed biogas project on segregated municipal waste by the city of Rudrapur. This is a 25-year project. It's on build, own, operate and transfer basis. And we have the opportunity to get, of course, the municipal garbage from the Rudrapur city, as well as Britannia, Nestle, and some other food processing units in the nearby areas, plus a mixed substrate from Pressmud from the nearby 3 sugar factories. We are having a tie-up very soon with IOCL Adani because they are supplying the CNG. They are the city gas distributors for CNG in Rudrapur. And we have about 6 acres of land allocated for this project, and construction has already started. And we are tying up with companies like IFCO for the sale of PROM, phosphate-rich organic manure at this unit. And we have received a UNIDO grant of around 1.5 million US dollars for this project. The rest is funded by us. And we are also proud to announce that we have tied up with the Bhopal city in Madhya Pradesh for a 200 ton per day compressed biogas project, again based on the green waste which is collected in Bhopal city. And this is a project which will be set up in Adampur, Chhauni. This has a grant of about $1.4 million from UNIDO. And this project will take care of almost about 70-80% of the Bhopal organic waste. Here we will be putting the compressed biogas to good use by supplying it to the Bhopal bus terminal, and we'll be selling the gas at a slightly subsidized rate to the Bhopal city gas people. Here also we have tied up with IFCO and Zuari for the fertilizer, that is PROM here in this case. And the MOU was signed during COVID period last year, and construction has started with this project. So 200 tons per day. So these are the big projects which we are focusing on now, and these are long-term projects. 25 years, 20 years is a long time to go. Some other quick projects which I'll run through. So this was a project we had set up about 4-5 years ago in Claris BioEnergy in Kolhapur. This was a combination of press mud and elephant grass, napier grass, about 100 tons per day. A double membrane. We had a different type of scrubbing system here. We had amine scrubbing here. And the gas, the compressed biogas is used for running some of these Kolhapur buses and sold to Menon and Menon Pistons. This was a 40 ton per day potato processing waste project we set up at ITC in Ranjangaon, Pune. The Bingo's chips factory. So here the gas was purified and then pushed into a boiler for steam generation because the process in ITC was steam generation for their potato chips. This was a project for Malto's agri products in Dodabellapur in near Bangalore in Karnataka. This was for poultry agro waste based project. The first digesters we set it up. And then very happy that Carbon Masters SOM in particular was taking over the CNG side of this. We did a cute little project for a poultry project, poultry litter based project in egg industries in Raipur. This was 5 tons per day compressed biogas project. Here the compressed biogas was in cylinders used for their tractors, and was also used for their brooders. In the poultry industry you have these brooders, so the CBG was used for their brooders. Some projects which we have done on vegetable municipal organic fraction of municipal waste in Tamil Nadu state. Some we have done in Pune Municipal Corporation. We have about 6-7 plants which we are operating now in Pune Municipal Corporation. These are some other projects. We have one project in Vaishnadevi in a temple in Jammu, Arcot, the Tata Motors, Torrent Power, Bangalore Municipal Corporation. And we also have these cute portable biogas plants. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you, Srinivas.
Yeah, thank you, Samir. It was really interesting and superb presentation with various small scale, medium scale, and large scale projects. And as we are running short of time, we have started receiving many questions. So let's look at the questions. I will be posting in your chat box. So if you can have your look, the speakers can have their own chat box. And the first question goes to Kevin and Mr. Patil. That support is presently available for fermented biomanure under FCO norms. What future does the upgraded forms of digestate bring to the table? Any light on some cost benefit analysis done to showcase lucrativeness of such projects?
Yes, Srinivas. Now, as you know, that this PROM is now covered under FCO 2012.
Yes.
Okay. And now, yesterday I had a meeting with Jayasri Jagdaliji, and also 2 weeks back you were also there. We also discussed the same issue with the Principal Secretary of Petroleum, Sri Tarun Kapurji.
Yes.
So both have agreed to talk to the Principal Secretary of Fertilizer, and they are trying to make some arrangement of the lifting of this PROM by asking state governments at least 2 to 5% of the total consumption of chemical fertilizer in the state under the state policy.
Perfect. Yes, Kevin, you would like to add something?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot the government should be doing on fertilizer. I mean, if we want to get farmers to move away from chemical fertilizers, we've got to give them an alternative which provides value. Unfortunately, today, one of the barriers is, perfectly understandably, municipal authorities who don't do what we're now able to do, I take that waste and convert it via anaerobic digestion into a quality manure, have decided just to compost it. Now, if it's composted correctly, there isn't an issue. Unfortunately, in India, a lot of city composts take undigested food waste full of metals, and then the government subsidizes city compost, and they create a standard within FCO to sell that to farmers. So the big barrier we hit is when you go to a farmer and say, I've got an organic fertilizer, they say, get out of here, because the organic fertilizer I've used in the past are terrible. So we have a big challenge. The biggest thing the government should do, and I know it's challenging, is right now the playing field's completely uneven. The government is spending 70,000 crore subsidizing chemical fertilizers. That makes no sense. 1 out of every 5 bags of fertilizer is imported at global prices, which we then subsidize. That's not sustainable. And the chemical fertilizers are ruining Indian soils. So we have a massive job to do to convert farmers from the use of chemical fertilizers to organic fertilizers. So we're going to need a lot more products available. The SATAT initiative will provide it, but those products need to provide value. We need to ensure that we produce a quality organic product which can bear the price of its cost. Otherwise, the farmer won't use it. So whilst we think the FCO standard in one way is helpful, in another, what we've done is we've lowered the standard so that biodigestate manures can be qualified. We certify our fertilizer under the organic manure standard, which requires a higher percentage of NPK in order to get that standard. And we do that by the windrow composting and the mixture that we're doing. So I think the fertilizer is very challenging. I think the efforts the government is making is an initially good step, but there's a lot more that needs to be done. Otherwise, SATAT risks being a real challenge if we've got 5,000 different brands of fertilizer out there that aren't producing good value for farmers. So from our point of view, we think we're currently selling we're getting somewhere between 8 and 9 rupees a kilogram for our product.
Perfect.
Because it's providing real value for farmers, which they see they can reduce their use of chemical fertilizers and they don't give up on yield by using our product. But that's taken us a while to develop, and it's extremely challenging business. But I think there's a lot more the government could do to help in this area.
Yes, thank you. And we have already, Mr. Patil.
Yeah, Srinivas, here, we all developer, we have to come together first of all, because, the sugar industry is competing with us as a prom, but we are requesting to government to have a bioprom as a trademark for the biodigested based produced prom. Because see, the production cost of our bioprom is coming around 7 rupees per kg.
Exactly.
And the prom which the sugar industry is producing, they are, it's like around 4 rupees 50 paisa. So, it should be our demand from our IBA or from all developers that the biodigested based prom should have a bioprom as a trademark to get a good value and a differentiate in between the regular prom and the bioprom.
Yes, very well said, and all your points are being noted, Kevin and Mr. Patil. And since we have already come a long way, and I think we are already there, and final, as Mr. Patil has explained, that we are up to the mark that the final norms would be out, and those can be followed by almost more than 5,000 large scale and many small and medium scale plants, so that there would be certain norms. So I would request next question would be for Samir and Mr. Raghunath. So, Mr. Raghunath, to be answering it first, is the pricing provided under SATAT viable for setting up the ambitious target under the scheme? Would be also required to get into some innovative incentive models, such as from capex subsidy to gas-based incentive, reverse bidding by gas authorities to arrive at fair offtake price rather than just fixing it?
Yeah, thank you once again, Srinivas. In my opinion, the price what you fixed, even though it is less, but the real problem is there is no take or pay. We have several, instances wherein our client had to flare the gas. So it is definitely a non-starter. Of course, investors are willing to fund and they're hoping that demand will pick up. But I don't think it's so easy to get so much of funding if there is no take or pay contract. Biogas cannot be stored. You can only store minimum 1 day or 2 day capacities. So
Yes.
unless you have a take or pay contract, at least 75%. If I run the plant for 1 month and there is no takeoff, and you run the bankruptcy in 2 months of time or 3 months of time. And if you look at the biogas plants in India, the major revenue also come from fertilizer. So unless you have a fertilizer, also a kind of not take or pay, at least a sales, or what Mr. Kevin said earlier, some kind of not really subsidy or some kind of the fertilizer companies take your product, like petrol companies are taking our CNG, bio CNG. The fertilizer companies should come forward, similar program like Satat under fertilizer industries, fertilizer companies, to take care of that fertilizer as second product. If you look at the revenue share, is more from fertilizer sale than biogas, bio CNG sale.
Yes.
Some project, the revenue is more in fertilizer than in bio CNG. Yes, look at petrol price of 100 rupees per now. It looks promising. People
Exactly.
want to invest in the funds, but ultimately, you need to have a take or pay contract at least for some 50% portion or 60% portion of the volume. At least biogas developers can survive. That is my serious note. I also met Mr. Tarun Kapoor last month, and I told him same thing, that there must be a minimum take or pay contract, minimum percent, 50% or 40%, at least they can survive. And then there is some LOIs from fertilizer companies to take the fertilizer as another product. With that things in place, I think the biogas industry in India and all over the world will boom too much. That's good for the country, good for the world, great for the atmosphere. That's my take.
Yes. Yes, Samir, would you like to add?
Yeah, I fully agree with what Raghunathji said, and I'll just add to that at the moment, the Satat pricing is viable. Not to, we should have more projects on ground so that the viability is very well established, and then maybe it's easier for us to put a pitch to increase the costing over a slab rate kind of a thing. Take or pay models are going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. We are all pitching in. All of us have met everybody in the ministry from who's who, and we are all trying for take or pay. But we found a way to sort of work around this model by directly dealing with on a commercial scale with the industries. So the downside is, if you don't have industries near this biogas project, you are in very, very serious trouble. So take or pay is good, but commercial sale of this CBG on our own with our own marketing things is the way forward now, so that we can be sustainable for the time being. Hopefully, when you have more projects coming up, there will be a proper thought given to this, and capex subsidy linked to GVI and everything will fall in place.
Yes,
Thanks.
thank you for your views. And I have been in touch with Indian Biogas Association, and they have been regularly getting letters and requests from various biogas companies on this pricing provided under Satat. And our as you already know that Shuklaji is already in touch with the MOPNG and the government. So we are trying hard to get this on ground, and let's see what we get it at the end of the day. So next question would be for Mr. Patil and Mr. Singh. So how will the provision to insert upgraded gas into natural gas grid change the overall ecosystem, particularly when the price comparable products such as PNG or natural gas prices are low as compared to present prices of CBG under Satat?
Yeah.
So Mr. Singh, would you like to add first?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Srinivas.
Yes.
Interesting question. It is something to think about. Please note that India imports most of its CNG, more than 85%, from the other country. Apart from costing, we very dearly, it is also making us dependent on the price fluctuation of international market. And you must be aware that all gas distributor company are increasing the price every day based on our low pressure and low cost low operating cost and capex system, we can easily generate bio CNG, or you can say bio PNG at lower cost. So soon adding bio PNG to the grid will be more viable than traditional natural gas. In most of our project, total cost of making the gas is much lower than market.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Patil, would you like to?
Yeah. So there are two things. When we compress the biogas into the cylinder, the project cost is unnecessarily going very high because of the cost of the cascades and the cost of the trucks plus the driver salary and all that.
Yes.
Suppose if we get a nearby pipeline for the injection, then all these capex will be, so the overall project cost will come down. Now, sir, second important thing now, why we are dependent on these oil companies? Because now all these people are buying CBG at 46 rupees and dispensing at right now 57, 58 rupees per kg. So 12 rupees makes a huge difference. So we are designing now, almost 60% work is done. So we are coming up with a mobile CBG dispensing unit, which will be on a truck, and the total cost of the dispensing unit along with truck will be around 40 lakh rupees. So suppose a person buy a mobile dispensing unit with 40 lakh rupees, and if he dispense 1000 kg per day, easily he can earn around 12,000 rupees per day. So it's a good option for them. And also, the government of India also trying to revise this policy to give around 56 rupees per kg cost to the CBG, considering the production cost, right now in India.
Yes, I mean, certainly it will reduce, and mobile gas dispensing unit would also serve a purpose. And let's see how we work it out on the economics point of view when we are generating more than 5 tons of gas on a daily basis. Whether the PESO will agree to the norms, because we had already also tried this in the early stage, but there were some restrictions from the permissions as well as from the explosive department, that whether you are allowed to sell your mobile gas dispensing unit on the highways. So this was the case where we had to stop.
No, sir, permission for first CPG mobile unit is already allotted, and Government of India, Ministry of Petroleum has also given a permission. Either BPCL or IOCL will be having the first mobile dispensing unit within 3 months' time.
Perfect. So these are welcome ideas, and obviously our overall the industry can benefit out of it. So my next question would be for Kevin and Samir. So this is, despite of several technology claims to treat lignocellulosic biomass, why is such, or why the such projects, that is biogas from agro residues particularly, is not gathering momentum in India?
I'll kick off with that. I think we are now beginning, because of SATAT, to see some momentum. I'm aware of at least 2 or 3 large-scale projects we're going to take rice straw and convert that to CBG. The challenge is the supply chain, getting to stop farmers burning the millions of tons of rice straw every year in Punjab and Haryana. The logistics are quite challenging. First of all, you've got to give the farmer an economic benefit to stop him doing what he's doing, because at the moment he's taking the lowest cost option, which is to burn it. You've got to provide him an alternative which doesn't cost him money. So there's a challenge in moving that rice straw from the farmer's field to a plant. There are companies, Presspo is one of them, that are working on building a biomass supply chain. So that is being taken care of. The other challenge is it's high in lignin content, so you need technology. There isn't indigenous technology that does that in India. There is in Europe, but it's very expensive. So you're left with mechanical means of breaking down that lignin, and that's being used in India today. But I do think, because of the yield you're getting from these high lignin content feedstocks, and now a mechanism to sell it through bunks or to sell it to industries, or to, as we do, to sell it to hotels and restaurants, I think we're going to see significant momentum to address that issue, which will also solve the terrible pollution problem that the burning of rice straw causes. So I think we are seeing right now significant momentum in building large-scale bio-CNG plants based on rice straw feedstock.
Yes. Samir?
Yeah, perfect. I fully agree with Kevin. And just to add to that supply chain problem, we also have to cater for these harvesters, the balers, the distribution unit, and the debaling unit at our end, and that's not something which we had catered for when you put up these projects. So that's an unnecessary cost to us, with absolutely no respite from the government for doing this additional stupid service. We should get
Yes.
the waste, get the the agro waste practically free of cost at our doorstep. Then it becomes easy to focus on the gas generation bit,
Yes.
not get into the supply chain logistics.
So you mean to say the entrepreneur is should be free to collect his waste, or he can select what is to be added and operate the plant.
Srinivas, try negotiating with these aggregators. It's crazy. They
Yes,
really
yes,
hike
yes,
up
I
the
know.
prices. The agreements make no sense, and
Yes.
once they know that your hand is under the stone, you are in trouble.
Yes.
So that's the problem. So we need
Yes,
a
and
mechanism for that.
yeah, thank you for all the speakers. We have been receiving so many questions. I've already tried to cater 4 of them, and there are more than 60 odd questions in the list. So I feel that we can send you over the email. So because the time is a constraint, we would like to wrap up. And it was very enlightening, outstanding, and I appreciate each and every speaker, and would like to thank you from thank you for Indian Biogas Association for allowing me to moderate this session, and special thanks for being a part of this bioenergy pavilion. And once again, I thank each and every speaker. Personally, would like to thank you once again. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you once again to IBA and Srinivas and all the fellow speakers, Mr. Samir, Mr. Singh Saab, and Mr. Patil Saab, and Mr. Kevin. Nice meeting you guys again, and have a good day ahead. Thank you, Srinivas, and thank you for all the listeners and audiences for logging in from many parts of the world. They have logged in to listen to this presentation. Thank you to all of them. Thank you so much.
Yeah, one last thing I want to add is, yesterday I was watching a video of a dumping ground. So my kid, who is 8 years old, he said that, Dad, it looks like almost like a military operation with convoy of vehicles going above the mountain, and they are throwing the garbage. So it's crazy. So let's see how we can reduce these dumping grounds and find a perfect solution.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you once again. Thank you to all the audience who joined today. Thank you.
Yeah.